Hello everyone.
Hello.
You can see that Andrejus is becoming more and more.
Life is this. I like this.
Žinau, pradedam. Hello everyone.
Hello.
It's already second day finish. Finish was a bit earlier than now, but we are here in single piece and we will cover a few fundamental things from stage 2 of Vuelta Ibiza MTB 2024.
All together.
The start today was a little bit messy because we had to start 1 minute after elite riders, but there was some mistake and we started all together. So it meant quite a fast one and we didn't manage to get to the front, but I think we kept up quite a good pace until the first climb. And we then settled up for our own pace up to the top. And we managed to ride quite a steep hill, which most of the front riders even were walking. Yeah, it was quite strange. It was quite rideable.
Yeah, definitely nothing which would require to push the bike.
Yeah.
There are some cases when if you slip the rear tire, you might get off the bike, but it was like tens of people pushing the bike, but it was the top of the climb, so maybe they had nothing left. I would actually add one more thing, is that we live in the west coast of Ibiza Island, and the start was in the east, so in the morning we had almost 25 kilometers warm-up, which was not bad, but considering that the distance was 90 kilometers almost, 85, that added a bit of fatigue to the overall day's performance, I guess.
So it's a good training day today.
Anyways, we are jumping back after the top of the climb. We had what? The rain starting.
Yeah, we had quite heavy rain, but just for half an hour, I think. And it was in quite dirty roads, so we were fully covered in mud, and when we started I would say quite technical descent, which was still wet, which was very fun because of that. And again, a lot of front riders didn't manage to ride down.
In that particular situation, because I already watched the footage, I assume that few stopped, and then others which were following them from the back just had no other option. But for us it went very well because we in the beginning kept the speed low, so that way we had different options to go, and there were quite a different amount of lines to go down on that descent. And actually I went somewhere on the right where it was steep drop, so I remembered the moment where I almost spent my life like a cat just uses his life when bad situations happens, when we've been riding in Denia near the lighthouses, so it was very similar drop then stone, and I'm like, hopefully I won't get over the bars, but I didn't.
So for the next 50 Ks we had a lot of fast gravels, a lot of headwind, and we had some good company to ride together, so it went pretty fast and we managed to finish quite well today. 8 places up from yesterday, so we were 26th today and 5th in our age group.
Yeah, it's also worth mentioning that among the company which we rode together, there was Italian mixed team, which I checked. It's Nasser's champion of Italian, the guy. Deho, his surname is. So it's like tens of titles of Masters, gold medal of Italy. Actually, he was champion of 2022, some sort of championship in the world. So it's maybe XCM or something along those lines. So that just defines what type of company we ride. Definitely not everyone champions of champions, but there are some. It's worth mentioning that Andrejus took care of me in terms of gathering the water. So at the foot, like 1 to 2 kilometers before the food stations, he just took my bottle, went in front and refilled it. So that was nice, thanks for that.
Mentioned also that Thomas had a small crash today on the descent, but it wasn't on the technical one, it was on, like I would say, Lithuanian one, just a slippery corner on wide gravel down.
Yeah, and actually I have the footage of both cameras. Yours, so basically Andrejus being gathering camera at the rear seat post, which points to me, and actually it was like a few minutes before the end of the recording time. So that was a situation where normally I wouldn't even knew what was the reason why I fall. And basically we're going down, 2 guys in front, Andrejus and me, and then you skid 2 times, like rear wheel skid, and I'm following you as close as normal I never follow. And then there was a moment where you almost went off the road, and at that moment, because I was close, I turned to the right. And on the right, there was like someone put a lot of stones on the ground, and it was immediate, just front wheel slide over and poof. But it was minor.
Yeah,
like
but
25 kilometers per hour.
We should mention that you are quite a drifter here and sliding everywhere and where, so whenever possible, went where you don't need to do that.
Yeah, but that moment I haven't been braking at all. Like,
so that's the problem, you had to drift
the
on the
moment
corner.
then I crashed was just because I turned the wheel, and I turned exactly on the gravel, which was absolutely loose. So that was the reason, but it was...
So it was the gravel, not you?
I would say it was partially yours reasoning why you
But I
went.
didn't crash?
Yeah, but if I would have been followed you in that corner, probably I would hit you. That was like, what would you choose? Hit someone or try to just get away? I chose and tried to get away, and it ended as it ended. And actually, there was one other moment just before the camera stopped recording. We've been riding with that grill team, and 3 of you were in front, and I was following the guy, and there was like corner to the left. I turned into that corner, and then it was a bit bump, not like the bump, and I hit that bump, elevated a bit, and then it was yet another turn to the left, and I went straight. Just, I don't know how I didn't manage to turn after that bump, and then it was like gap opening up, Andrejus looking from the back, where's Thomas, and etc. So that's kind of casual. Last thing, how strong your effort was during the day? Because I can say that my effort was 105%, more or less. So I wonder, just for the sake of understanding, what's the difference between us? So it's worth mentioning that, I guess.
I would say it was 80 to 85%.
And then it was like looking at the duration of the course, then it was easiest for you and then the hardest.
I would say it was more or less the same all the time, except the times you were eating, so it was 0 for me.
And actually, then you went for the first time to refill the bottles. I believe that you gained 30 seconds in
No,
like 2
I think
kilometers.
it was 2 minutes because I managed to fill 2 bottles, to eat some bananas, to grab some food.
No, so I'm talking about the time I looked at Strava flybys, and it was like 30 seconds, and I don't know the distance because they just don't show that, but it was like so yeah, you can imagine, but on those moments you go full gas, or it was like
It's 95.
95? So no one goes full gas. Always 95 in order.
It depends. It depends. Sometimes we go if you want to stay with a group, you need to go 100. But if
Not
you don't,
105?
no, no.
That's the reason why it's so hard for me, because I'm pushing above my limits. That means I know that at some point, if I continue going in that pace, I will collapse. Like, I don't want Andrejus to push me for remaining distance, so that's
Yeah, but
why.
I would add that when you're going 100%, you cannot talk, but you are talking to me and telling that you cannot go further, it's too hot, you need to eat, you need to drink, and you have a lot of words to say, so I would say it's about 70% effort.
That's a good measurement. So next time I would want to say something, I will just keep my mouth shut, so that way he won't presume that it's too easy for me. Yeah, so that's that. Tomorrow is the last day of the stage race. We will have 60 kilometers, 1.3k of elevation. It will be from Saint Anthony, just roundabout, and we'll return to the same place. What are our chances in general classification, if there are some?
I think it would be more or less in between first and second stage, because it will be much faster tomorrow, so I think we won't keep up with the front group on the first climb, and we will settle in more or less the same company as we did today.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that today we finished 5th, and the guys which last day was in front of us had some technical, and that's the reason why we gained at least 1 position. So that's so.
Okay, so we managed to, in general classification, to climb 8 places, but yeah, as you mentioned, a few teams had technical, so it's still up, not down.
And probably our good performance today in terms of result was also a bit of a reason, because we started with that front group. Yeah, so we'll see how stage 3 goes, and we will meet in some broad recap of the race after everything finishes. So thanks a lot for the time, and we will meet there. Maybe in some different place, not with the horses. Actually, no, not this one. After we finish the race, we will go with Andrejus to play chess party, and we will see how it goes. Deal? Deal.